Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42 with another Minecraft video. And as you can tell here, it is pretty close to Christmas time, so we've got our funky little chests here. Anyway, today I wanted to do what I think is probably going to be the last bit before we get to do, finally, our applied energistics. So our ME controller, we've got Vibrant Alloy, that's fine. Iridium we've got, yeah, Gal Gadot in metal. We can make its, wow, lump of Gal Gadot, you know, it's a few things. We need a bunch of diamonds, stabilized metal. We've got all this stuff. We just need to probably find some more diamonds. The other thing that the last thing we're missing is the stuff for this quantum core. So we've sorted out our nether snars, we got our wither spawner, but the enriched Sunnarium alloy, this is what we've been working on. So we need to have enriched Sunnarium, 16 enriched Sunnarium, which is 16 Sunnarium, but we need a ton more uranium as well, but that's okay, we just need to mine it basically. But it means we need these Sunnarium bits, either the small ones or the large ones. It's actually easier to do the large ones, it's cheaper in glowstone. So rather than using 9 glowstone, it only uses 4 glowstone. It does use the same amount of energy though. But we need this molecular transformer, and I think barring materials, this is the last thing we're going to need. Unfortunately, it's pretty nasty to make. 4 advanced machine casing, some EV transformers, we're going to need, you know, a bunch of extra transformers and bits and pieces, so I am going to have to run away and make all these bits, and then we're going to come back and hopefully be able to make some Sunnarium, and I'll decide where I'm going to put this thing, probably in the workshop, to be honest. Alright, so I'll be back once I've gathered a bunch of pieces for this, and we'll see if we can't get some Sunnarium happening, and then that'll probably be it for this episode. Next episode, with a bit of luck, I'll have done the mining that we need to do, and we might actually be able to make ourselves an ME controller. Holy moly, it's been a long road to get there, but we might finally do it before 2016. Alright, so we'll see you in just a moment once I've gathered a few more pieces. And ta-da! We finally have ourselves a molecular transformer. This thing took quite a bit to make. Quite a lot of stuff goes into it. Not too bad, just the process to go through as per usual. Now, the other thing that I did, it's actually been quite a bit of time between me recording that first part just now and this part. The thing I've gone away and done is I've managed to find a bunch of uranium. So I found one of the uranium veins from Immersive Engineering. It was completely horrible to find. I don't even want to guess how many hundreds of chunks I've scanned and marked. I've got dozens of coal, copper, iron, all sorts of other chunks out there marked, but only one uranium chunk in the whole thing. So now that we've done the uranium though, what we can do is we are looking to make this quantum core. In fact, let's just type that in so I don't have to keep going back. So the quantum core, basically enriched Sunnarium, we need 4 of these, which means we're going to need 16 of these enriched Sunnariums. 16 enriched Sunnariums, this is what we need all the uranium for. So 16 of those means we need 16 of these, and 16 of these is, there we go, just some glowstone. So let's grab a bunch of glowstone. In fact, 16 of them, that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, oh, not that, a couple of redstones as well. So let's put this in here. Wow. So that's going to take a little while to make me some Sunnarium, but that's going to be hopefully all the Sunnarium we need. We're also going to need that the enriched uranium. So this is my little trick down here. So if we go over this, we can actually chuck that out. Oh, wrong one. Needs to be on this one, the one with the catalyst underneath. Look at that. We can just keep throwing the redstone out until it's all converted. Doesn't use much. Uses a little bit, but, you know, redstone's pretty easy. In fact, look, there's a pyrite. There's a pyrite vein. That's what I've been using. I've been using the signs to mark all of the veins, whether I find one or not. So I haven't really been doing it around my base all that much. I've been doing it elsewhere. Wow, this is really going to chew up some power. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need to get is we're going to need to make... We're still going to need these things like that. Let's just grab a stack. Now over here, this is where we're going to make, well, this will make 32 of them. Now this is going to be pretty heavy on power use. So how many do I actually need? I'm going to need, so what did we say, 16 of these times 8. Wow, we're going to need 128 of them. That's a lot. That's a lot, that's a lot, that's a lot. So let's grab a bunch more. Actually, we're going to need, what did I take last time? I took 2 stacks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I need another 2 stacks. Let's grab another stack of the charcoal. Now, the reason I'm taking the charcoal down is this is how I fuel this thing. I usually just stand here and chuck one off. That'll happily start doing stuff. Cool, so let's chuck that out. It does about 40 at a time. But I find if you just keep throwing it out, eventually it all gets done. Wow. And look at that, it did use quite a bit. You can see the levels dropped a little bit there. But that's okay. So we're going to need a stack of that. And another of that. And then we're going to need to grab another stack of uranium. Cool, I'm glad I went and found that uranium vein. So let's throw that and that and that and there. Now that should make all of the uranium. It's like 100,000 RF per irradium, so not heaps and heaps. This is going to be the danger one because this is going to be 9 million EU for each one, and that looks like it's going to take quite a while to create. How are we going? Yeah, so we're losing power. This is going to get low enough for the generator kick in, as we've seen before. We've also got the nuclear still running. How good are we doing with that? Oh yeah, we've only just started. That's cool. So we've got plenty of nuclear there as well. So that should be enough. It's just a bit of time to go through. Yeah, I can't even put an overclocker in, although that would use a lot more power if I did. But that'll do. It looks like EU Partic 512. It looks like we could potentially plug it in to something that's a higher output, and then we would actually get this done faster. But given that my power generation is not that hot, so my power generation, I mean the reactor is outputting 360 EU per tick, the generator is doing 1024 RF per tick, so you can divide by 4, so that's 256. So between the two of those, they're only just going to keep up with this anyway, so I may as well just let this run for, yeah, what looks like it's probably going to be an hour or so of real time. So I'm going to let that run, I'm going to let this run, and we'll be back, and hopefully we will actually have all the bits and pieces we need. Oh no, we're going to need a bunch more of this. Always something else. Okay, so we're going to also need four extra Sunnarium in there, so it's going to take a bit more time, as well as our Iridium, which I still haven't quite got the last couple of bits of Iridium, but that shouldn't be too hard to get. Alright, I will be back in just a moment, once all this stuff's finished, and once I've got those last couple of bits in line, and then, hooray, we might actually be ready to do some applied energistics, finally, in this hard mode pack. Cool, see you in just a little bit. Okay, we have made some of the bits and pieces that we need to make. I've realised that we've still got another 4 of these that I need to make above and beyond those 16. We've also got a lot of other things that we need to make. So first we need 16 of those, which is all well and good. That's to make the outside, but we're also going to need these in the middle. Now I've made a pretty big error in calculations here. So we need 4 of these, which means we need 4 of these, which means we need 32 of the plate, which means we actually need 128 of the Iridium Ore. Also 128 advanced alloy and another 32 diamonds as well. And that is just to make the quantum core. So aside from the quantum core, we're also going to need the Galgadorian metal. Now this is actually going to be a bit harder to make than I initially thought as well, because we're actually going to need 18 lumps of Galgador, and the lumps of Galgador need a ton of diamonds. So, we're going to need 81 diamonds just for that. Not to mention the Eye of Galgador needing a bunch of gas tiers, which we haven't quite got yet. I do have a 90% full syringe of gas, so we should potentially have a way of fixing the gas tier situation up. But for now, I'm going to end this episode here, just because it's crazy, and we're going to be a little bit further off than I initially thought on making this ME controller. Getting there though, we are getting there. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So that's it for this episode. I'm going to jump to probably another couple of things in the next couple of episodes. We'll have to come back to the ME controller once I've made some progress in getting more things. So diamond, we got 48 diamonds. So yeah, I'm going to need a ton more diamonds, a ton more of everything as per usual. But hopefully when I come back to this, maybe in sort of 2 or 3 episodes time, we'll actually have enough to finally get the Applied Energistics up and running. They really have made this an end game thing in the hard mode pack. Anyway, we've made a bit more progress, so that's good enough for me for now. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.